Merry Meet, it's Cindy with Corey Devotions, and I'm here with another installment of the Shadow Work series we're working through. Today we're talking about Step 1, Uncovering Your Shadows, and I'll be showing you how to do that using the tarot. In future videos, we'll highlight other methods of starting shadow work, including some mundane methods if you're not a practitioner of witchcraft, but we're starting with tarot because it's what I'm most comfortable with. The decks I'm working with today were chosen because they evoke deep emotions and memories and feelings of nostalgia. The Tarot of Secret Kingdoms is really dark and has dimension, and it takes me to those really dark places with this imagery. This deck is really great for intuitive reading, which is perfect for shadow work because I don't want to be caught up in remembering all of the meanings of the Rider-Waite-Smith system. I just want it to take me to an emotional place where I can dig deep into my subconscious. The Light Seers deck is another go-to deck for this reason. It's really emotional, really deep, but it has more of an uplifting vibe, and it's really great for processing trauma. Before we get started, just a couple pieces of advice. You'll want to make sure that you have a journal handy or something to write on or something to write with. And then also set aside some time and space and cleanse your space, ground yourself in this space, and be intentional about this. This isn't your standard tarot reading. I'm also setting out 3 keys to invite Mother Hecate to join me on this journey and offer her guidance and protection. But this isn't a standard ritual where I'm making an offering to her. This offering is actually to myself, and I'm inviting her to be with me. As I'm doing a shuffle of these cards, I am grounding myself. I am setting my intentions for this reading session, and I'm opening up my spirit to Hecate, to my higher self, and to the shadows that I'm inviting to work with me today. And this is a real reading. This is really me beginning a new round of shadow work. That's why I'm voicing over. I wanted to record this so that it could be as authentic as possible without interrupting the real work that I'm doing here. As is typical with my readings, the first card is actually confirming what we're doing with this session, confirming the intentions of this session. The 8 of Cups is walking away. This is letting go of things, and it's a very emotional card. And in reverse, this is deeper than surface level. This is releasing shadows, which is specifically what we're sitting down to do. These shadows will be uncovered in layers, sort of like a conversation. So the answer to this question will lead me to form another question, and I'll continue doing that until the answers to my questions are not as obvious and I find myself needing to sit with them a little bit longer, process them a little bit longer. That's when I'll know I've met my shadow. The 4 of Wands in reverse answers that I'm holding on to something that I thought would be, or I'm holding on to expectations that I carried my whole life for how I thought my family would turn out and how I thought my marriage would turn out. And the Lovers came out in response or in confirmation that this has to do with my marriage. This has to do with this divine connection. So my next question is, what am I holding on to that's creating this disillusionment that I'm stuck in, that's preventing me from fully embracing this connection in the way that it currently exists today and what it has to offer me today? I'll speed this up, but I'm keeping it in because I want to show you what it looks like when my deck is done talking to me. The cards stop falling out, and that's when I know that it's time to either stop my reading, or in this case, switch to the other deck that I have planned to read with. The Lovers coming out of this deck is just confirmation that this deck is picking right up where the Light Seers left off, and confirmation that I am on the right track with the shadows I am trying to uncover. The Three of Swords indicates heartbreak and answers that I'm holding on to past heartbreak or old wounds. And the imagery on this card just intuitively speaks even deeper to that sense of pondering old wounds or digging up bones, as Randy Travis would say. So here I'm just writing this all down in my journal, and I wanted to show you how I journal this. I draw lines to kind of map out a pathway that I'm following, and I'm not spending a long time writing down my thoughts on this stage. That's going to be reserved more for the second step. But for this stage of just uncovering my shadows, I'm basically solving a mystery. I am trying just to get to the root of what the issue is. Now I need to sit with this a little bit longer, and I know I'm not going to get the answer to this in this reading. The question being, what old wounds am I really holding on to? That's something I'll have to answer over time. So what I'm asking in this case is just for some practical advice for how to move forward from here. The Nine of Cups speaks to appreciation for what's right in front of you, and appreciation for how things are, even if they weren't what you expected them to be. And it all speaks to gratitude, which is something that I've been hearing a lot lately, and it's something that I have started practicing. So those seeds of gratitude have been planted, and it's something that I'll continue to work through. As I'm wrapping up this session, I do three things. I take a moment to just process a little bit of what I've just read and write down some of my initial thoughts. Then I take a moment to try to implement some of those concepts. So for gratitude, I sat for a moment and I thought about all I have to be grateful for in this connection. And then I grounded myself back in the present moment, back in reality. Because after you've set aside time to really dig deep into your subconscious, and it can be a really emotionally taxing experience, you still have to go and do life afterwards. A therapist of mine once worded it as if we are unpacking a suitcase in our 1-hour session. And at the end of unpacking and looking through the suitcase, you can't just leave everything out, and you can't live in that suitcase. At some point, everything has to go back inside, and then you have to go about your day. And all of those things that you unpacked, you're still going to be thinking about them. You're still going to be processing them in the background, but you still have to function as a person. And that's incredibly important in shadow work as well. So don't live in this space. That's my caution to you. Sit with it for a moment, but then take a breath, look around you, ground yourself back in the present moment in your present life, put it away, and then set another intentional time to sit down and process what you've uncovered. And we'll talk more about that in another video when it comes to the second step of shadow work, which is the processing stage. Thank you so much for joining me for this. I appreciate you witnessing my vulnerability. Please be kind in the comments. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video in the series comes out. And until I see you again, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Blessed be.